Essentially, Jeremy, I want to talk to you for a second. The Pentagon's UFO chief, this is a Pentagon guy, a UFO chief, the chairman of Harvard's astronomy department as well, both releasing a report on Tuesday where they wrote an artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth. You've got the Pentagon talking about the idea of a mothership going above us and sending probes down.
It's the same dude that's filming this planet, taking pictures of this. They say it's a second sun and all this, right? But we know that it's news. The Anunnakis are back to check on they crops, see if they crops is right, so they can pick the right amount of souls to take up with them, because they got to do this in order to make it to clear karma debt and to. So the reason why and I say we, it's a group of us, of scientists that got sent here ahead of time. We incarnated into human forms, into human bodies. And we here teaching you, and we seeing which ones of you are ready for the information. We already been putting it out for a while. Malachi, Elijah, all of us part of this.
Solar eclipse that will darken the skies for millions of people.
Dude, these are aliens.
I've never seen this before. Always looks like a UFO.
Hey there, my name's Casey and this is Mindseed TV. In today's video, I've got some really cool stuff to show you. There are some pretty disturbing theories and news reports relating to the 2024 solar eclipse that is happening on April 8th. People are kind of freaking out. Also, some new mysterious monoliths have appeared recently out of nowhere, and some really cool UFO sightings have been caught on camera, so be sure to stick around until the end of this video. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification so you don't miss new videos like this when I drop them. And if you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Let's jump into today's video.
You're walking with the bears.
As we edge closer to something truly strange and buzzworthy, let's talk about the total solar eclipse happening on April 8th, 2024. This isn't just any eclipse though. The sun will completely disappear in the middle of the day, leaving states like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, and more in total darkness.
Running across 15 states, from Texas all the way up to Maine.
But there's a bit more to this event that's making people feel uneasy and on high alert. Let's start with the FEMA warnings. Rumors began swirling that FEMA told people in the direct areas the eclipse will affect to have 3 days worth of food and water ready. But why?
Word of caution is being issued now by emergency management. Stock up on 3 days worth of food, fuel, and water.
Some think it's because of possible power outages, and even the news made mentions that this could be a possibility.
Total solar eclipse that will darken the skies for millions of people. Guess what? Could it impact the power grid?
Then there are others reporting that a huge number of people are expected to flock into these areas to see the eclipse,
Which could potentially swell by nearly 10 times its population. Some schools along the path have already canceled in-person learning on April 8th.
Imagine cities packed with 10 times more people than its usual population. If that is in fact the case, FEMA's probably worried that with so many people around there could be a shortage of supplies, while others think that this is a false flag for something much larger. Maybe that's because of the next red flag that people have been talking about.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine signing an executive.
Hey guys, check it out. This was on March 20th, 2024. Watch the full video and let me know what you guys think about this one.
That's anything but a plane, guys. It's anything but a plane. Recording right here, right now. What is it, March 20, 2024, guys. One is done, the other one is done. Make this shit up. Wow, 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 guys. Everything's something new here. Planes flying right by. And this shit is about to be done. Is that already? Make this shit up, guys. That's a UFO right here, right now in Miami, flying by. And it's gonna be gone.
So let's talk about this solar eclipse that's supposed to happen on April the 8th, which it will happen. What else is going to happen? Well, we hear that the National Guard's being called out to certain cities, and we also hear that people are stocking up on goods, stocking up on bottled water and food and things like that, and that maybe somebody knows something that's supposed to take place that nobody else knows, that maybe there's a national security threat. There's a lot of speculation. Also, you have people reciting prophecy where Jesus said that a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh a sign, but they findeth none. The only sign that will be given to them is from the prophet Jonah. And Jonah was to preach to Nineveh so they would repent from their ways. Remember, Jonah was swallowed by the whale, and he went back to Nineveh, and there was actually a solar eclipse, and the people turned from their pagan ways. They repented, and so Jesus possibly could have been referring to later times where a nation would need to repent and turn from their wicked generations, and they would receive the same sign that the prophet Jonah, and that's what that means. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of other things that to be concerned about with this solar eclipse, and I'm hearing that there's going to be a lot of darkness in certain areas of the United States. You can actually search this pretty easily, and you'll see the regions that it's going to cover. This is basically the areas of the United States that you see here that's going to be affected the most by the solar eclipse, and there'll be, there's a possibility of a lot of different things occurring in these areas as well. So if this happens, and say there's darkness in certain areas, and people can't see what's going on, would it cause some sort of chaos? Would it cause, there's a lot of things that could happen, man. Look, I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to fear monger. I'm just telling you, people need to be prepared for this. There's been many people doing videos and speculating that there could be some sort of an attack and things like that, and anything is possible. You know what I mean? Anything is possible. Is it prophetic? I'm going to be honest with you. Absolutely, I don't think so. Is the Bible going to be fulfilled during this? No. It's not going to be anything like that. If something happens, this is not the Jonah thing. I know there's a lot of videos about that right now, but you'll see it's not. It's not going to be that. And could it be a sign for somebody to turn from their wicked ways? I don't think this is going to be the one. I think you have more to worry about with the attack thing and things like that, and in the areas that's affected by it. In total honesty, I don't think anything's going to happen. That's exactly right. I don't think there's anything to worry about, actually. I'm the one that's usually on here talking about, hey, look at this and look at that, and giving warnings about certain things. I think this is another hyped up deal. I just don't think that there's going to be a lot going on. Do I think that maybe the internet or something like that could be affected? There's always that possibility. Maybe there's something more to the eclipse. I know they've called out the National Guard, like I said, in certain places. I think it's to have precaution for certain things, but I just don't feel it. I don't feel that there's any major thing gonna occur during this eclipse. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think, though. If you think, all hell's gonna break loose, please share.
2006 in Pensacola, Florida. David Eckhart is asleep in his bedroom. A closed-circuit camera mounted above the bed captures the room bathed in a soft yellow light coming from an open door. Suddenly, the camera picks up something alarming. A short, skinny humanoid figure begins slowly peeking out from behind the open door. David does not stir from his sleep as little by little, the figure creeps further into the doorway, revealing a bizarrely slender leg, seemingly just a few inches in diameter, then an oblong head and eventually its whole body. It resembles otherworldly beings commonly described as greys, and this apparently wasn't the first time David has seen one. David wouldn't be the first to report repeated visits from extraterrestrials.
A month away from the April 8th solar eclipse, Travis County issues a disaster declaration. Officials expect to see big crowds, traffic, and a strain on first responders, hospitals, and roads.
That's what we're trying to put resources in place for, to direct traffic, extra law enforcement on the streets out in those areas, extra signage, working with Waze and Google to try to pre-identify and map routes that people can take safely into and out of the area.
Private property owners in unincorporated areas are required to let the county know if they plan to host a gathering with more than 50 people. That's so first responders can prepare accordingly.
We're making the declaration today. It's going to be in effect until the 8th because we're requiring that registration and those other measures until the 8th. The court ratifying that today will keep it into effect.
Del Valle ISD announcing Friday they're canceling classes on April 8th, joining these districts that will close that day. Other districts like Austin ISD are using the day as an educational event. The county says there are no plans to close roads. Some parks require reservations and many are already filled up.
We want to make sure, even when we were talking specifically around potential challenge points going into and out of the parks, the goal is going to be to keep the traffic moving as free flow as possible.
Hays County is closing their county offices that day except for public safety ones. No matter where you are, leaders say avoid non-urgent appointments that day. Stock up on groceries and gas beforehand and download the What 3 Words app to make it easier for first responders to find you.
Are there extraterrestrials walking among us? Shared by YouTuber Enigma, this scary video, likely a re-upload, suggests so. As helicopters chopper above, a creature emerges. That's the most extraterrestrial looking extraterrestrial I've ever seen. It hides itself away again. It certainly looks like it to me, and although I'm hoping it is, I'm also 100% terrified. I was unable to track down the original source of this video, so if you know where it's from, please let me know in the comments.
Skinwalker Ratch alien caught on home security footage. Like, follow, repost, comment below.
about this total solar eclipse. On April 8th, 2024, we're going to have a total solar eclipse, and people have been talking about the military. Let's see if maybe this is why right here.
We receive a message, and we know that within a certain period of time that there is going to be an alien species visiting Earth. They have told us so, and they are on their way.
And this is a comet that's coming right in. And guess what day this comet going to be seen? They call it the devil's comet because it's going to have a tail and it's going to have wings, or what could be considered devil horn. Guess what day it's going to be on? It can be seen in the daytime sky. April 8th.
This is getting wild. The National Guard is going to be here now for the solar eclipse. This article today was released in an Oklahoma newspaper saying that they will have guardsmen present in McCurtain County for the solar eclipse. But things get much weirder. The 22 members of an elite chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear unit will be housed in Broken Bow, in addition to 110 to 150 Oklahoma Highway Patrol troopers. They're also urging residents to stock up with 1 to 2 weeks of food in advance of the event and to have full fuel tanks. They're also saying that it's likely that communication facilities could be overloaded, possibly making it difficult to make cell phone calls. And apparently schools are canceled this day, and people are going on Twitter writing statements like this: something strange is definitely happening. My kids in 3 different schools all got notices that school will be closed that day.
You keep getting offended every time that I say that your comprehension skills are in the gutter, but you keep proving me correct. This is what the Canadian government is confirming, what they're discussing. An update on an official UFO study. UFO stands for Unidentified Flying Object. They're not working with aliens. They have not confirmed that. And like I said, the only places that you're finding that they confirmed this is on YouTube. You can just read about the studies of LSD on the human psyche. You don't have to experiment on yourself. But please, cease with making yourself look utterly incompetent on the internet. That is forever.
Last night, April 3rd, 2024 at 10:50 p.m. in the Bronx, I saw blue and green lights. So I started to film. At first I zoomed into close and missed what I saw. It was raining hard all day, and the wind was very powerful. My wife said that it looks like lightning, but I got a good look at it and told her, no, it's like balls of light illuminating and pushing out that light. What can it be? After catching it on film, I was filled with joy. My middle pocket area was no longer yarning in boredom, but it up paying attention in the most charming and precious way.
Did anyone else see these lights?
What? More evidence just surfaced. Remember that video I posted about what seemed like a meteor or comet? Remember how the fragments didn't fall to the ground? They stopped and started moving in different directions? Well, now it gets even crazier. Here's another video showing the same phenomenon. To those dismissing it as drones or holograms, it's time to open your eyes and minds to what's really happening in 2024. Save this video and let me know what you think in the comments.
Hey, he is down. Bro, I know y'all see this. What the fuck is going on? This is in Arizona, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Sorry for my language. I don't know what's going on. Look at all this stuff. You see this shit in the sky? They're circling. They're circling literally. Something. They are circling literally. They are circling literally. What is this? Somebody please tell me. I don't know what this is. There's something at the bottom.
This is crazy. What is that?
She was so shaken up by this event, the next day she sent the video footage to her local news stations, but apparently they didn't want to cover the story for some reason. However, many people in the comments section of this video coincided with hearing similar noises on the same day in that area.
Yo, what could this be? It is loud as hell. I don't know what that is, y'all. I'm going inside.
In this next clip, uploaded by TikTok user Nightmare Fuel, an extremely strange event is captured on camera in Mexico. Just moments before an intense earthquake, there were some very unexplainable sounds recorded along with some very unusual weather behavior. A loud slamming noise can be heard almost as if something were repeatedly crashing down into the earth. But that's not all that happened. Suddenly, a red and blue light begins to flash in the night sky, causing the entire street's power to go out, followed by a long heavy sound that people could only describe as an extremely loud horn. Multiple people caught the event on camera, and it even made it to news outlets, with no explanation as what caused these strange lights.
Where vehicle operators are standing by. Now, the next milestone coming up is in less than a minute. At that point, ship will, or I'm sorry, it already has.
Weather weapons, all the videos you're about to see are recent from the last year and cannot be explained. So before we start today's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button right there down below, and let's take a look. While the Philippines have seen their fair share of natural disasters, a massive typhoon hit during 2023, tearing through the country. Many people captured intense footage of this storm, but in this next clip, a man and his daughter capture something very strange. Listen closely. After hearing what could only be described as a judgment trumpet coming from outside while the storm is wailing, he tries to calm his daughter by telling her it's okay.
It's okay, baby.
But then he captures something even more bizarre. An unidentified flying object whips past his balcony. Whatever this thing was, it was going in the opposite direction of the wind at crazy insane speeds. And to make it even more frightening, immediately after the object flies by, another loud sound comes from the sky. So how do you explain this? What was the object flying by their balcony? And what were the sounds?
April 8th, the eclipse is going to happen, and what are you doing to prepare for the eclipse?
Now, despite us being through multiple eclipses through our lifetime, the government normally only instates stuff that talks about wearing eye pro not to damage your eyes or hurt your eyes. However, this year, they have released quite alarming alerts on what to prepare for. Let's go over them. Be sure to schedule your errands and appointments early. That is a strange one I have not seen on Eclipse Tips. Having a communication plan with family and friends. This is a new one for us. What is going to happen to the cell phone service? And why do we need to have a communication plan for an eclipse? Making sure you have cash on hand because there might be limited internet access. When has an eclipse ever affected our internet? Also having a recommendation to buy necessary groceries and having your cars filled with gas. What is about to happen when that eclipse goes over? Despite these warning signs, they've also activated the National Guard and canceled school for our children. So what is actually going to happen in this eclipse? Is it a false flag? Is something else going to happen? Some people think that it's a sign or an omen, but what do you think?
A total solar eclipse is predicted in April. This happens when the moon crosses paths with the sun, blocking it from view. It is a highly anticipated event for scientists. But they are concerned over one thing, fact that the sun itself is getting ready to flip. Its poles are about to reverse. Here's how. Just like the Earth, the sun has two poles, the magnetic north and the magnetic south. Every 11 years, the polar magnetic fields weaken. They go to zero and then emerge again with much more energy, but with opposite polarity. So the north pole becomes the south and vice versa. This is a regular part of the solar cycle, unlike the one on Earth, where the poles flip once every hundreds of thousands of years. The sun's poles last reversed in 2013. Even those bad at math will know that the next due date will be sometime this year. Now this may sound scary, but the flip is not a big deal. What comes before the flip is, leading up to the pole reversal, the sun has intense magnetic activity. Right now, the sun is more active than it's been in over a decade. During these periods, the sun displays extravagant fireworks. There are solar flares or mass ejections. Scientists call them solar storms. Think of them as explosions. Solar storms can be the perfect storm for disasters. They can disrupt communication satellites and GPS in space and disable electrical grids on the ground. The possibility of such a hit is rare, but it can happen like it did in 1859, when the Earth witnessed the Carrington event. It was the worst solar storm in history. It disrupted telegraph lines, hindered messages, sparked fires, and auroras were witnessed in Mexico City.
Oh, hell no, babe. There's two suns. Look at the fucking video right here. Look at the video right here. Look at that. Look at the sun and look at it above it. What the fuck is that? That's the sun, babe. That's the fucking sun and something above it. Look at, hold on. Look at, you see the sun right here? Look at what's above it. Look at that light right there. What the fuck?
So the government is panicking about this solar eclipse that's happening. So in case you didn't know, on April 8th, there's going to be this huge solar eclipse that's going to leave central Texas, parts of the Midwest, Buffalo, the Northeast, in complete darkness for 5 minutes. Basically, because the solar eclipse is going to be going through these huge urban centers with populations in the millions, and millions of people are also planning on traveling there to see the solar eclipse. Many governments are planning on actually closing down roads and closing down schools on the same day as the solar eclipse. And on the same day, in some parts of southeastern United States, the Midwest, and some parts of the Northeast, there's going to be this massive cicada hatching event where 2 different species of underground hatching cicadas will emerge from the ground at the exact same time. 1 trillion cicadas in total. You can comment if you're going to be traveling to see the solar eclipse on April 8th.
Said that at NASA, our mission is for all humanity, and that's because space brings us together. There's no better proof than moments like this, a total solar eclipse. It's a moment when millions of people across North America will look to the heavens as the moon passes in front and between the sun and the earth. And it's a rare sight that we haven't seen in 7 years. And unusual things start to happen as the normal rhythms of Earth are disrupted. When you're seeing this eclipse, you ought to observe this. As the day appears to turn to dusk and then dark, people have heard birds stop singing. They've seen giraffes suddenly begin to gallop. Roosters start crowing and crickets chirp. So watch for these unusual behaviors. And we encourage you to help NASA observe the sights and sounds around you. Eclipses have a special power. They move people to feel a kind of reverence for the beauty of our universe. Their power is not only to unify us on Earth, but to further science and discovery. In 1919, Albert Einstein's theory of gravitational bending was proven when scientists measured how stars shift when the sun is blocked out by the moon. And today, over a century later, a total solar eclipse still brings great opportunity in science. Pam is going to share a little bit more about how NASA missions will use this rare moment to advance science. Safety is always NASA's #1 priority, and that remains true for this solar eclipse. Make sure you have the proper eye protection, like the eclipse glasses. And as you look at the heavens on April the 8th, when the eclipse starts, please, please put those glasses on. Now, I'm going to hand...
I really hope that's not a tornado. I don't think it is.
Definitely a trumpet.
Again, a strange trumpet sound is heard during an approaching storm. One man even says he has seen videos and heard similar noises on social media, meaning that more and more people are witnessing these events firsthand and in person. But why is it always during or before a massive storm? Could this really be some sort of weather control device in action? What do you think this is? A man in Russia was on his nightly walk home from work when he suddenly hears a strange sound coming from the sky. Although he is speaking in Russian, users in the comments section said he was asking what the hell could be making this noise. Does anyone know what this could be? He genuinely sounds terrified in the video, and judging by the sounds, I can understand why. Where do you think these weird noises could be coming from? Next, a man is standing outside of his home when all of a sudden some extremely loud trumpets can be heard coming from the sky during an approaching storm.
It's gonna get right. And this has been happening all day.
The man reverts to religion, saying that this is one of the judgment horns sounding, and that if you're not right with the Almighty, now would be the time.
I ain't right with the Most High. I suggest I get right with the Most High, because that's the trumpet.
Many people believe that the end of times will be signaled by trumpets heard from all around the world, announcing the end of times is near and the second coming is happening. These strange sounds continue for multiple minutes while he records the footage.